At the end of the month, on the 24th of October, Ireland's next presidential election will take place. It will elect the 10th President of the Irish Republic. Michael D Higgins has held the role for the past 14 years, but cannot run for a third term, meaning a fresh face will enter Áras and Uachtaráin. The race will be between two candidates, the lowest number on any presidential ballot since 1990. I thought it would be worthwhile to make a video on the race, as it is now beginning in earnest. On that note, today I'm going to go through each of the two candidates and their backgrounds, starting with Heather Humphreys of Fine Gael. Heather Humphreys is a politician hailing from County Monaghan. Her family are Presbyterian, and in fact both her father and husband were Orange Order members, with her grandfather even signing the Ulster Covenant against Home Rule in 1912. Given her background, she is an interesting candidate for the Áras, although it is worth noting she would not be Ireland's first Protestant president. That record goes to Douglas Hyde, who was elected back in 1938. After a short career in Ulsterbank, she began her political career as a county councillor in the early 2000s. In 2011, she was elected as a TD for Fine Gael and represented the Cavan Monaghan constituency until her retirement in 2024. She has held various ministerial titles, including a stint as Minister for the Gaeltacht, despite not speaking Irish. She promised to learn during her tenure, but failed to do so. Kind of relatable. She then went on to become Minister for Business, Enterprise and Innovation, and later Minister for Social Protection, and later Minister for Rural and Community Development. She also replaced the Minister of Justice on a temporary basis when the former went on maternity leave. In 2024, she announced her retirement, saying, quote, "I'll be 65 next year, and if I ran again, I'd be nearly 70 by the end of the next Dáil term. And I'm just not physically able to keep going for that long." She did not contest that year's general election. Given her reasoning for resigning, it is surprising she decided to run for president, but she has a lot of experience as a TD and minister. Next up, we have Catherine Connolly, a native of Galway City. Aged 68, she is the oldest in the race and the only fluent speaker of Irish. Before entering politics, she worked as both a barrister and clinical psychologist. She then started her political career as a Galway City Councillor for the Labour Party. She soon became Mayor of Galway, and during this period became a close co-worker of Michael D Higgins, who she backed in his failed run for the presidency in 2004. In 2011, she ran as an independent TD for Galway, but lost by a mere 17 votes. In 2016, she was successfully elected for the Galway West constituency. While an independent TD, she worked closely with other left-wing parties and independent politicians, including Richard Boyd Barrett, Claire Daly, and Mick Wallace. In 2020, she was elected Ceann Comhairle of Dáil Éireann, becoming the first woman to hold the position. What makes Catherine Connolly's candidacy interesting is that she has been endorsed by all 5 left-wing parties. While having some well-known controversies, including a trip to Assad's Syria, she is broadly accepted as a unity candidate by the 5 parties. Her status as an independent probably helps in this. Connolly also seems to be leading in the polls so far, although Heather Humphreys is close on her tail. Against my better judgment, I'm going to make a handful of predictions on the outcome of this race. The first is that there will be a low voter turnout. This is not a controversial take, as political apathy is on the rise in Ireland. In the last presidential election, turnout was a mere 43.9%, the lowest in Irish history. In 2011, it was over 56%, indicating a 13% reduction. It's hard to say how it will be in 2 weeks' time, but a low 40s figure seems a safe bet. There is even the possibility that turnout will be so poor as to set another record low. This would likely help Heather Humphreys as the older demographic trend towards voting for her and usually show up to vote. The reverse is true for Catherine Connolly. Now for the more controversial prediction, the results. Although I still think it's possible for Heather Humphreys to win, I believe Connolly will come out on top. She is already the favourite according to the handful of polls already in circulation. Humphries has also had 2 poor debate performances, and her family connections to the Orange Order will certainly turn off many voters. If she does win, it will be due to a record low in voter turnout. While Connolly is far from perfect, I predict she will win with a small lead of less than 5%. Her receiving the backing of 5 parties and largely a positive debate performance, albeit not without its hiccups, leads me to this conclusion. However, Irish presidential elections are notoriously dirty races. Anything could happen in the next 2 weeks that tips the scales in favour of one over the other. Past scandals, secrets, or simply embarrassing campaign moments could reshape the race overnight. So take my predictions with a heap of salt. That's all for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And consider subscribing and liking the video if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.